My girlfriend has never played Destiny before, and tomorrow we're gonna try to carry her through Vault of Glass. I have until then to grind up her account and try to get her some weapons and armor pieces that might help her stay alive a bit longer. I'm gonna do this without spending money, just using resources that we have in the game as a free-to-play guardian, and just see where we can get.
The ginger ale. Frog with the ginger ale on. Frog with the ginger. Frog with the ginger ale on. Frog, ginger frog.
I wasn't recording my audio here, but we dropped down to the first free mission of the Witch Queen because why not? From our first loot crate, we of course get some legendary gear, gauntlets, boots, and our first power weapon, the Polymera rocket launcher. I started to wonder what perks the rocket launcher had, and much to my surprise, it dropped with auto-loading holster, which is amazing for what we want to do. We crushed our first ghost, got some upgrade modules, and just like that, we were done with the first mission. After being tossed back down to Mars by Savathun, we went back and crafted the glaive. This probably won't come in handy, but it's a power level increase. I headed to the moon because Eris had a notification and was disappointed to find nothing. I then went to the tower and bought her a jet and a sparrow because we were definitely lacking in the vehicle department. She already had a few shaders from a long time ago, so I painted her ship and sparrow purple to match her colors. With the Witch Queen's intro out of the way, it was time to head to the Cosmodrome and try to power through all this new light stuff as fast as possible. The first step of this was to meditate. A lot. Through heavy meditation, we unlocked some new aspects for our Void Super. Next, we talked to Shah Han and did a Lost Sector. He gave us a legendary scout rifle, and we went on to do another mission. I teamed up with some other new lights out by the old loot cave, which was wholesome. Shah Han decided he was gonna go try and be the hero, so we had to put together a data key and go rescue his ass. Navoda made a cameo appearance and then ran away. Shah Han f***ing died, and we were granted access to the last city. Zavala gave us the lonesome legendary sidearm, and a clean floor is a happy floor.
A clean floor is a happy floor.
I bought some things for my Korra and then accidentally wasted all my money on a fragment. Our first strike was scarily close. But after defeating Navoda, we started our first exotic quest. I went back to the tower and also received the quests for our Solar and Arc subclasses, something I really wanted to get done. We had to do some things for Devrim K, so I knocked out some bounties while I was at it. I did a public event hoping that I would get Glimmer and didn't get nearly as much as I would have wanted. After a bunch more lost sectors, we headed back to the Cosmodrome to finish the exotic quest. I was very happy to get Risk Runner, as it'll prove to be very useful in the near future. I went looking for Zur, but unfortunately couldn't find him without looking him up, which I then forgot to do. But after a while, I remembered we went, found Zur, and he didn't really have anything that we could use. After this, I went, got some bounties, and still couldn't figure out how to decrypt my Umbral engram. I then went and stepped into Crucible for a while. I was fully expecting to do horrible given our weapons, and I'm only decent at Crucible, but we actually did pretty well. We were doing so well, apparently, that the game couldn't take it, and it crashed. We jumped back into Crucible, then went to the tower and vaulted some stuff, then jumped back into the Crucible again. One final Ward of Dawn generated the orbs we needed to unlock our Arc and Solar subclasses. I threw on the Sunbreaker class, still couldn't figure out how to decrypt my Umbral engram, and you guessed it, jumped right back into Crucible. After getting my ass kicked in a round of elimination, I decided that was enough Crucible for the day, but Lord Shaxx insisted that I play competitive. So it was with great hesitation that I turned around and loaded up some freelance competitive. From my season pass, I got an Eververse engram which decrypted into a really cool exotic sparrow that I know she's gonna like. I'm not quite sure why, but I visited Hawthorne. I visited the helm and still couldn't figure out how in the world to decrypt this engram. I continued the Witch Queen and seasonal storyline, making some pretty good progress.
Indeed.
I did some Psyops Battlegrounds, but Risk Runner made that shit easy. After severing Savathun's neural link, I finally remembered how to decrypt Umbral engrams, and, well, I ran Dares of Eternity and got a really strange bonus round that I have never seen before, but it gave me a lot of extra loot, so I'm not complaining. I visited Zur's treasure room, got her some more loot, and debated going after the Forerunner, but realized that would be a waste of time. Somewhere along the lines, I got a gnawing hunger, I don't remember where. However, in my final act before time was up, I remembered that Bungie Rewards was a thing. I promptly claimed all the rewards I could on her account, which granted her Cold Heart, an ornament for Cold Heart, an exotic ghost shell, a legendary ship, and some other nice things. In my last-ditch effort to try and make her guardian look cool, this is what I was able to come up with given her limited options. However, I wanted to go out and get her a red shader to match her red sparrow if she wanted to. I noticed she was close enough with Shaxx to almost be able to get the red jacked shader, so, being the amazing boyfriend I am, I jumped back back into Crucible once again to grind out that shader. 2 whole rounds of Vostok Pain later, I was able to pick up the Red Jack shader. However, when I showed her her account, she realized she had enough Bright Dust to afford the Warbrick shader in the Eververse store and opted to buy that and wear it instead, which definitely looks better. In the end, her Titan ended up looking like a miniature version of mine, and while not breaking any records, she was actually pretty decently equipped to take on Vault of Glass later that night. Ultimately, this was about 6 hours of work, and I'm pretty proud with how it turned out. As of me recording this audio, we have already attempted Vault of Glass, and man, it was interesting. So I'm gonna get to editing that video and get that up shortly in case you want to see it. In the meantime, you may like some of my other Destiny or Halo related videos, though if you made it to the end, I truly appreciate that. Thank you so much for hanging out, and goodbye.